Full moon in Gemini. We're going to talk about that. I always get it confused with whether it's new or full, but I always know what I mean. Okay, full moon in Gemini. I'm going to wait for some people to hop in the chat as well. But all right. All right, who's ready for the full moon in Gemini? Let's go. We're going to talk about what it means through every single one of the houses. Full moon, clarity. And then Gemini, this is ideas, communication, and the way that you think. So let's talk about what it means based on where you have Gemini in the houses. Now, also, it's important to note that the ruler, Mercury, is in Scorpio right now. It just went direct. So you want to also know where 22 degrees Scorpio is in your chart, because that's also where you're going to be getting clarity, or is going to be showing you the way that you're getting clarity. Okay. Now, that being said, let's go ahead and start with the first half. Well, let's start with the collective meaning. Full moon in Gemini just gives you clarity in your thinking, gives you clarity through a conversation, through communication or ideas. The other thing is that Gemini is mutable air. So air is very like, fickle and changing energy. Mutable is also about change. So like Gemini can represent an area where there's a lot of like change in your life or a lot of like variety. It's not really so much confusion, but like you're juggling a lot, you got a lot going on or things change a lot. So the full moon is just giving you clarity in an area that otherwise has a lot of like change, and that is usually like more unclear. So that being said, the collective real message here is that you'll be getting clarity about something that might have some more like hidden motives behind it, or it might have more hidden like meaning, more significance and more depth to it than what seems on the surface. And you'll probably be getting clarity through a conversation that you have, or through seeking information, uh, or asking yourself a lot of questions. And that's funny because I literally had that exact experience with a job that I'm doing, and Mercury is like conjunct to my midheaven right now. So that's really about career. So wherever you have Mercury is going to show like where you're getting like deeper clarity, or like really investigating and seeing things. Like I really investigated stuff really deeply in my career. So that being said, that's crazy. That being said, let's talk about what the full moon in Gemini means to each of the houses. So starting with the first house. The first house is about self. All right. This is about what you do. Okay. Seventh house is about others. It's about relationships. Right. First house is you. So you might initiate a conversation or ask a question that you're trying to find some answer, some deeper knowledge from. And that conversation that you start gives you more clarity. You might also ask for something that you want, and it gives you either what you want out of that, or like you start to get an answer on a deeper level, or you start to see whether what you're asking for is reasonable or like possible. Okay. So definitely ask for what you want during this period. All right. Second house now. If you have the full moon in Gemini happening in your second house, which is about finances. Oh, ooh, this is a good one, right? So finance house. Okay, this is really about. It can be about investments, and shout out. Okay, shout out to Ryle City in the chat. Um, she says hi, or he says hi. That being said, second house is really about investments, finance, um, and yeah, I mean, you could be getting financial clarity during this time. You can be receiving money. Um, you can have a conversation that reveals that you're going to be receiving money, or you're going to be receiving a new source of income. um, what else? You might trade your skills for an income. Like, you might find an opportunity to sell like your skills or your products in some way, because again, Gemini, air sign connection, and it's about conversation, communication, all that. Third house. Okay, if you have the full moon in Gemini in your third house, this is really about an idea that you have or a conversation that you have. And like, you're really gonna be cutting through the bullsh. Okay, there might be a lot going on in your life, or like a lot going on that you're juggling at the same time. And if that's the case, you'll be seeing what is the priority, what you should be focusing on. And also the ruler, Mercury, is going to show you, like what that is, like it's in Scorpio right now. So depending on which house is going to be showing you in what way that you're getting clarity. So really, if you have Gemini in the third house, that means Scorpio in your eighth house. Debt or like obligations might cause you to become very clear around your priorities at this time. And I think that's a theme that everyone, could be going through, that has like debt, or anybody that, has such some obligations financially to like a partner as well, like shared finances. Like, there might be some sort of like obligations financially that cause us to have more clarity about what we should focus on, because Gemini is really unfocused. The full moon is really about like being clear about something, and the moon is about what matters and what's our priority in our chart as well. So that's why that energy will show you, you know it will cut through the BS. So number four, fourth house. Okay, if you have the full moon in Gemini happening in your fourth house, this is a similar kind of thing than what I just said. Like, you're going to be getting clarity about your priorities, also your living situation. um, you might be getting ideas about like where you want to live and how you want to change things in your living situation, and inside your home. um and then the ruler, Mercury, the ruler of Gemini, uh which is in Scorpio, is going to tell you like what way that you're going to be getting like more clarity. um Scorpio is about transformation, so in general, like, everyone might be having transformational conversations right now, or becoming more clear about like something, um in terms of like how they want to transform something. Like, something might be going through a change. So I know for me, like, I have this full moon happening in my fourth house, and definitely I'm thinking about where I'm going to be moving. So this full moon, like, if you're having it in the fourth house like me as well, you're going to be understanding like where it is that you're meant to move on December 4th. Like, that idea is going to be super clear. And then the ruler is in Scorpio, so that's about transformation. And there might be some sort of like hidden, like, under the surface kind of revelation that you know leads you to have more like certainty and clarity. So the next house is the fifth house, and that's about ego. So fixed fire as well, it's associated with the sign Leo. So fixed signs are very stable energy, and then fire is like about action oriented energy, or like also the way that we are, like a way of being. So right now, like, you might be getting more clarity about like your ego, or like how it is that you want to like express yourself. You might be getting like clarity through putting yourself, like, people might be getting clarity through you. You know what I mean? Like, you might be the center of attention, or you might play a big role in some sort of event, or some sort of like project, and like you're the source of clarity. You and your ego and your expression, you being the center of things. That's really what it's about. Also, fifth house is children, so you might be getting more ideas about how you want to raise your children. You might be getting some sort of futuristic, new kind of advice from like a book or some sort of form of information about how you should raise your kids. But like the other thing is like fifth house is about creation. So um, you might put out something that's groundbreaking in the world. Like you might create something as well. Um, and it could just come from inspiration and from an idea. So, that being said, the next house is the sixth house. So, if you have the full moon in Gemini happening in your sixth house, this is about your routine. The sixth house is about your habits, it's about work, it's about service. Hello, Antoinette, Nieta. How are you? Um, during this time, it could be a moment where you're like starting to get your tasks in order for sure. Okay, you've got a lot going on in your sixth house. Double mutable energy. Sixth house is mutable. Gemini is mutable. The full moon is about clarity. So, like during this time, you're getting your stuff in order, and that's going to give you a lot of clarity. Organizing your environment as well. Now, the ruler is in Scorpio, so you might be making like you might get some sort of information or have a conversation that leads you to want to make a transformation in your health, or in your habits. So pretty deep, pretty deep stuff, ruler in Scorpio. So that being said, the next house is the seventh house. This is about relationships. This is about other people because first house is about self. Seventh house is about other people. Okay, so if you have, and it's funny, somebody's putting hearts, so it's like it's also about love, So you could be getting clarity inside your romantic life. You could be getting clarity and through a conversation with a significant other, or like somebody else can just say something or give you an idea that gives you, more clarity as well. That being said, the ruler is in Scorpio. So that being said, um, in terms of the houses, where would that be in? If you have Gemini in the seventh house, oh, that's your 12th house. Like you might be having conversations about spirituality, about God with somebody, about, literally somebody just said, "Do you believe in God?" That's why I'm thinking of that. But like the 12th house is spirituality and stuff like that. So 100%, you could be having, that that conversation about, beliefs, spirituality, what Judd Shorts is saying in the chat right now, like conversation about God and the universe, all that stuff, but like really transformational, deep conversations that you don't usually have in your relationships. So that being said, the next house is the eighth house. So if you have this full moon in Gemini happening in your eighth house, ooh, baby, this is a deep one. So eighth house is about what's taboo. It's also what's under the surface and what likes to stay under the surface. Fixed water. That being said, like fixed water is really like um, things that can be, unstable, but like we try to keep them stable. And so that's why it can represent debt, it can represent pressure, it can represent complicated situations. So right now, like you could be getting clarity through about a complicated situation, or you know what, like since the ruler is in your first house, like you might, you know, you might be like taking action or asking questions or like having like starting conversations that are gonna solve a sticky situation or get to the core of something that's like, usually unspoken or not, discussed. um Definitely full moon in Gemini can bring up discussions that don't usually come up, and it's like getting clarity through conversation, like I said. So that being said, guys, send me an email if you'd like a full, like, personalized reading where I go over your astrological, like, destiny, financial purpose very briefly, but it's super valuable. Um, so you can send me an email at serithelover@gmail.com. But that being said, next house is the 10th house. So if you have this full moon in Gemini, which is happening at 13 degrees, by the way, in your 10th house. So, like, if 13 degrees Gemini is in your 10th house, like, you're getting clarity and focus when it comes to your career. Like, when it comes to your career, you might be juggling a million different opportunities, or at least two or three of them. Like, you're considering two different options all the time with your career. That's how it feels like having this mutable sign in your 10th house. So having the full moon, like, in there, that's cutting through the bullshit. Okay. And the ruler is in your second house, right? So, I mean, financial clarity. Hold on. Am I getting that right? Hold on. 10th house in Gemini. Virgo first. Okay, it's in your third. The ruler is in your third house. So again, like, third house is about media, it's about communication. Scorpio is about, powerful people. It's about also, taboos, topics, manipulation. It's about power struggles. So, like, right now, like, a power struggle in your career could be leading you to lean towards one option rather than the others, or like one is just clearly more, leverage than the others. So you're getting a lot more clarity. And also, you might just be thinking and have, like, some sort of you know a revelation or some sort of idea that gives you more clarity about what you need to be focusing on career wise. So next we have the 11th house. So look, guys, who has the 11th house in Gemini? Because if you have the 11th house in Gemini, this is going to be the section for you. All right. But first of all, I want to know, where do you guys have Gemini? Where do you guys have 13 degrees Gemini in your chart? You know what I mean? Where is it? Come on, chat. Let me know where you guys have 13 degrees Gemini. In the 0th house. Okay. No, there's no 0 house, guys. Where is it? I mean, 0 could be the 12th house, I guess. But let me know. Where's 13 degrees Gemini for you? All right, somebody said something. Somebody said something. Somebody said, "Do you believe in God?" Hey, man, don't answer my question with another question, man. Okay, 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 okay. Come on, guys. Where do you guys have Gemini? Which house do you guys have Gemini? We're on the 11th house. And by the way, if you want, oh, hello, Natalie. Hello, Natalie. Welcome. Okay. Um. So what was I gonna say? Oh, if you want a free financial astrology reading, send me an email to serithelover@gmail.com, and we'll go over your financial purpose using astrology. That being said, let me know, where do you guys have Gemini in your charts? Which house? Because I know some of you guys are in here and you guys know, and I'll let you know what it means. Somebody said something. Somebody said something. Somebody said hi. Okay. Hey man, like I said, don't answer my question with another question. Uh, where do you guys have Gemini in your charts? Which house do you guys have Gemini? It seems it seems to me like we have we have a suitor. Somebody said something. Oh, no, never mind. You guys need to study your astrology charts. You guys need to get up to date. It seems like nobody knows really what their own houses are here. Whew, we got some work to do. We got some work. I thought we had some astrologers in here, but they must be out there. They must be out there in the world somewhere, but not here in this live stream. But that being said, like, okay, we're talking about 11th house in Gemini. If you have the 11th house in Gemini, listen, this full moon is giving you clarity on your individuality. It's giving you clarity on what makes you independent. It's giving you clarity on like ways that you can have more freedom and more options, because that's really important to you if you have the 11th house in Gemini. Like having options is everything that you need. And it's funny, like, oh, happy birthday, Amza. Happy birthday in the chat. Guys, leave some hearts and happy birthdays to Hamza in the chat. But that being said, 11th house. Um, again, if you have it in Gemini, like having options and variety is everything like for you. When it comes to freedom, and like you don't need necessarily a lot of location freedom. You just need to have like enough income and like enough like options in life to where you can always choose between two different like types of things. That's really Gemini in the 11th house. 11th house is about freedom and stuff like that as well. So if you have this full moon in your 11th house, you'll be getting clarity around like the amount of options that are really available to you in life when it comes to like making a change in your career, or like having more freedom, or you know doing something or having some sort of transformation that's going to lead to you feeling like super independent. 11th house is really about independence. So that's if you have full moon happening in your 11th house. And also look where the ruler is um, right now, which is Mercury. Like Mercury right now is at 22 degrees Scorpio. So that's in your fourth house. So if we're really talking about fourth house, this is about your home. Like this is about where you live. This is about your priorities. Um, this is about your family. Like this is about what matters to you on a deeper level. So like right now, you're getting clarity on like a lot of those things. So like you're probably thinking about, or like yeah, thinking about ways that you can have more options in your living situation right now, and maybe even making a change or moving somewhere where you're gonna have more options around you, like more places to shop, more places to eat, more places to socialize. Like that's where a lot of people with 11th house in Gemini might be going through. Okay. Last but not least, what comes after the 11th house? Does anyone know? The 12th house. How did you know? But that being said, we have the 12th house. Anyways, this is the last house. But before we get into that, if you want a free financial astrology reading and you want to know your financial purpose based on the placements, send me an email at serithelover@gmail.com. We'll go into that. But that being said, 12th house in Gemini, like this is about your subconscious mind becoming more clear. Like you're getting an idea, or like you're having a conversation that you know, might have like some more spiritual significance to you, or like might enlighten you in some way, or be very inspiring. And then Scorpio would be in your, guys, I'm trying to think. Okay, Scorpio, if you have the 12th house in Gemini, Cancer, fifth house. So this might be a more creative time for you as well. Like you might be creating stuff. Um, and this might be an inspiring, passionate time for you. Um, and yeah, fifth house is about passion. Fifth house is about being the center of things. It's about ego as well. So like right now, like you could be getting inspired and kind of wanting to put yourself out there, maybe even on the dating market. You know what I'm saying? Putting yourself out there for people to see and be like attracted to. Scorpio is where Mercury is right now. Mercury, that's the ruler of the full moon. So there you have it. But that's all 12 houses and what the full moon in Gemini meant. So real quick, let me know which house did you have it in? Like which house is 13 degrees Gemini for you, and I'll leave a last note. But if we don't get any, then I'm just gonna wrap this up here. So I'll give this like 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8. Where is it for you? 7, 6. Which house do you have 5? Which house do you have Gemini in? 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're wrapping this up. All right. All right. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Let's go.